apparently, so I've been recording for the last 40 minutes for no reason. I hit the on record button as soon as I hit the record button, or something else happened with the hardware, I don't know. I've done nothing and it just shut itself down. Anyways, I'm in the middle of a neighborhood courtyard house that's supposed to be demolished, and I'm here to check things out. I used to live in one of these buildings. A building that looks just like this one. And I have to say, I did not enjoy that time. There is no plumbing. And apparently this household is a Muslim household, as you can see by the that there. Sorry, I don't know what it's called in English. Nowadays, if these places exist, they're generally either rented out to migrant workers coming from the farms in the area because they can't afford to find anything expensive, or that they house old people who cannot afford to move away or just simply can't because of physical constraints. This one is apparently still rented out. And yeah, people are still living there. Everything is in the middle of deconstruction. And they stopped this deconstruction because of legal issues. The company, the museum, Bailey Museum, that wanted to acquire this area apparently did so without the consent of certain government agencies or sectors, and they wanted to demolish a historical monument that was protected by the government. So the neighborhood sued the company and won. I'm not sure what's going to happen from this point on, but it's likely going to be either a delayed deconstruction, or it's going to be a higher level of compensation, or maybe they will change the way that they do the deconstruction work. Man, I was talking a lot about everything before here, and I had my headband, but apparently I couldn't record anything, so unfortunately all that footage about the Republican era, the war against Japan, and my family history and all that's been lost. And a little bit about the life of people around here. But still, we can have a glimpse of this street that is in the middle of being demolished. The part on the right has been walled off because it's waiting to be demolished. Oh, and this is how people get water. Each household has a faucet which they lock up, and if they need water, they just unlock their own faucet, use the water there, and that's how people know how much water you've used, who's used what, and all that. Because there is no plumbing indoors. There is no plumbing indoors. There are a lot of these food trucks, tricycles. So generally, they just park it outside their own house, and during afternoons, evenings, when it's time for people to eat, they'll start bringing in food onto their tricycles and start selling them on the street. That's how the local street food get their thing. Wow, I've been talking so much that I've already lost. I'm already starting to lose words. I've been talking non-stop for the last 45 minutes, and none of it has been recorded, and I'm a little tired. So let's explore another one of these ruins. Okay, Xi'an. This is for people to put newspaper in back in the days of the newspaper. And yeah, you can see these ladders. Most of these houses have 2 to 3 stories, and they have either a simple ladder or a simple stairs like this one, and it could be kind of dangerous to go up and down them, obviously. Most of them do have an old tree of some sort. I don't know what tree this is. I should have studied botany a little better back when I was still in school. Most of the residents have already moved out, I believe. But it's unlikely that all of them did. You can see everything is still being used. And you can hear voices. And there's some new stuff here as well. So yeah, some people still live here. And this is generally how a typical Chinese old-style yard looks like. Each one of these courtyards, I guess, can house several families like that one we just saw. That one housed like probably 10 families or so in that little area. So people are pretty much used to sharing their accommodation. And that's one of the shops in the area. Construction shops, I guess. Wow. A hotel. Okay, apparently I don't think the security cares about who I am or what I'm doing here. As long as I'm minding my own business as a tourist. Convenience store. Senior activity center. Generally they say it's an activity center, but it's more of a mahjong parlor or gambling house. Like this one here. Everyone is playing mahjong inside. That's a delivery. It's likely that she's delivering for the beer company, but it's also possible that she just picked up a bunch of bottles from the beer company and heading over to her restaurant. Both of these are possibilities. Okay, right here. That's how people wash themselves, because there is no indoor plumbing, so there are no showers, no baths. You can only clean yourself either like that or at a public bathhouse. And let me just say that the bathhouses are not exactly clean. This is interesting. This area obviously isn't being demolished. And there's a youth hostel here, as well as several calligraphy shops. I'm gonna see what's going on. Okay, do not throw your trash. AC repairs, more AC repairs. A workshop. Wow. I did not expect to find something like this in the alleyway here, but yeah, it is in operation. Yeah, it's a youth hostel, and I have never been here or even thought of this place, as people are still doing business here. I thought everything's been closed down. I'm gonna check out this place just a little. Sign their names here, put their bikes here. Yeah, looks exactly like a youth hostel to me. You never know what you're gonna find in these tiny alleyways of China. So a youth hostel like this in the middle of nowhere downtown, yeah, You have to really walk around and look deeply, deeply into the city to find these places. Like, I don't even know where this is. I didn't even know it existed until now. While I'm on the topic, there are a lot of tuk-tuks here and a lot of scooters here. So scooters are obviously the best way to get around the city, especially in downtown traffic. And tuk-tuks for picking up families or goods, they're a lot more useful than typical bicycle or a motorbike or a scooter. So you can pick up more stuff, and young kids and people who have mobility issues, that's why these exist. Oh yeah, the city wall, I forgot. It's supposed to be something really special in the world, but I grew up literally right beside it, so anyways, I still should have mentioned it. Yeah, the city wall is something around 13 point something kilometers long, which surrounds the downtown core of Xi'an. And it's built in the Ming Dynasty, roughly 600 years old. You can definitely climb on top of it, ride a bike around it, or walk around it, take lots of nice pictures. And the cost is something like $5-6 to go up, maybe $7 now. Yeah, actually last time I went up was just a few days ago. Either way, it does not exceed $10 to go up the wall. Either somebody died or this is a funeral supply store. I believe the latter is true because I used to visit this area, and yeah, it's a funeral supplies home. Here we go. After the first street alleyway, we are now on the second one called Xi'an. That one before was called Kaitong Alley, and this is Xi'an Alley. Oh shit, they blocked off everything almost. Okay. Community haircut, men, women, all $5, which is less than $1. And the sign says I went to the morning market to do haircuts and coming back at 11, and I will be here until 8 p.m. and that's the phone number. So this is something a lot of people do in China, offering cheap or even free haircuts to people, especially for those who cannot afford it. Everything is blocked off now, unfortunately. Xi'an used to be pretty fun. It had several incense stores because it's right beside the temple, Wolong Temple. I may still have some photos of the place, so at least there are some memories. If it's possible, I might just climb over the walls or something to take videos of Xi'an, because I really like that street alley. Here is Wen chang'an and the Bailey Museum. This is the museum that caused the deconstruction of everything in this area. They wanted to acquire the land to expand the museum and turn it into a tourist district. Financially speaking, it's a good decision. So yeah, that's about it. And these houses, they are really old. They don't even have indoor plumbing. So yeah, getting rid of them does make some sense. They're not suitable for modern life, that's for sure. And me being a former resident of this area, I would say get rid of it. But it's unfortunate that they can't preserve the old neighborhood anymore. If they could, that would be for the best, but whatever. At least nobody has to live in these shitholes anymore. Honestly, if you think I'm exaggerating, you should try living here for a few years. Nobody would want to stay here unless they have absolutely no choice. And I guess this is it. Even though I had 45 minutes of footage before, everything's been lost because of recording issues. So that's all for now. AK signing out. Okay, the car's blocking traffic, and this is Xinlong Alley, the other entrance. So I'm going to be continuing to make my videos. Xinlong Alley is a beautiful little place that has a lot of incense stores, restaurants, and old neighborhoods. It's a curvy little alleyway that goes from basically from the wall to the wall. Man, I don't even know how to explain this. And this is one of the reasons why the acquisition was stopped and the demolition was stopped. This protected historical monument, someone's house, some family's home, and it's pretty important. Okay, 36. I'm not gonna go inside because people still live there. And this is a delivery guy, Hyundai Express. So it's basically like what do you call it? FedEx. You can think of it as FedEx, but most of the deliveries are done in those tiny little tricycle trucks, tuk-tuks. It's easier to do it in the city because, you know, traffic and all that, and there's no reason to waste fuel. Perfect example here. Most of the buildings in Xi'an, including the city wall, has a core out of hardened earth. So you mix up earth with straw, hammer it into bricks so that they're tightly packed and sturdy, and then use these earthen bricks to make buildings. One huge problem with it is rat infestation. These are prone to being burrowed, and another problem is the amount of plants that can grow on it. After all, this is just raw earth, and it even has a lot of organic matter mixed into it. So they are not stable buildings. One bad shake and they'll fall apart. But they are cheap to make, especially for the area here. It's going to be hard to make bricks, and by packing the loose earth in the area, it actually forms very sturdy bricks, and that's the core of the city wall in Xi'an. I don't know what's going on right now, but a lot of my people are here for some reason at a Buddhist temple. This might be a religious exchange gathering. This is the oldest Buddhist temple in all of Xi'an. It's 1800 years old. And with all these Muslims here, it's likely that they just did some sort of a religious exchange. Yeah, which is kind of interesting to see, but it happens quite a lot. Sometimes on a group basis, sometimes on an individual basis. I last saw Buddhist monks visiting churches in the area, and they were having a really nice time with a priest or whatever that guy's position was at the church. And it's one of the things I like about Xi'an, I guess. Nobody really cares what kind of religious affiliation you are with. As long as you're being a nice person, you can do whatever you want, really. Believe in whatever you want.